Gaming Today presents Cash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Thursday, June 25th, and tonight I'm joined by just two of us tonight, boys. At least until anyone else shows up. It's the one, the only, he, these takes, Mo Toy Pearson. What's up, Mo?
What's going on, man? You know, obviously I'm still jacking Wi-Fi's from people when I get the chance. So I'm at my buddy Casey's crib right now. We're actually at his brother's crib. We're deep in the north, but I'm doing well, man. I'm glad to be back.
You're in the north part of town?
Yeah. We're like on. This is
Okay.
like I'm in a different territory.
Okay. Wow, you're out of your jurisdiction, but we're glad to have you here tonight. And the lighting is good. The Wi-Fi is strong. That's all that matters. Thank you, Casey and Casey's brother. In the other box tonight, the producer, cleaned up, looking good. I am Reynolds 2305.
Fresh.
Yes. He's here tonight to make sure that you and I at least sound okay, and going to offer his takes on whatever he wants to throw in. Off campus today, Alan Berg at % Berg, still away.
He quit.
Hopefully doing okay. Yep, and Pops is hopefully fighting and doing what he's doing, so that's good. Also off campus today at Gaming Today News, Howard Barish, fresh off the Belmont, and he interviewed Benson today. I don't know if you saw it yet, but he interviewed Benson.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. We just talked about it off air. I'm gonna watch it soon though.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't come on to the show, because he got smoked in the Belmont.
He did say that Tiz the Law was a class better than everyone else, and obviously he was. So
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know if the pick 3 or pick 4 came in, but Tiz the Law won. So the show is at GT Cash Consider on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is at SportsBKConfig for Sportsbook Consigliere. That's everybody's stuff. Mo, the format of the show is going to be simple. We're just going to throw it around, talk about a couple different things, sports happening, hopefully.
Yeah. I feel like it's even though we're in the midst of something that's like getting worse, it seems like sports are getting better. It's a weird correlation. Doesn't seem right.
Well, I hope you're right, but we're gonna swing it through a couple of the leagues. I got some notes here. We'll keep it as brief as possible, but we'll have a fun conversation, and I'm sure Reynolds will be able to edit or fire in any editorial comments that he would like to say as well.
He's gonna smoke us for that.
Yeah.
I've already got one marked down. We didn't even
it's not even like 2 minutes into the show. It's incredible.
I was like, I got to clean this up already.
Oh, shit. Well, first off, let's just start off with the NFL, because we always do. They canceled the Hall of Fame game today, along with the induction ceremony. It's the first thing that the NFL's canceled. Deep breath. Okay. Is this just being cautious, Mo, or is this a cause of concern, in your opinion?
I think it would just be incredible. Like there would be no reason for anyone to shut down the NFL at this point. So I think just being cautious that, obviously it's closer, it's early August. I think they don't want to, they don't want to stretch anything out, too close to to what's happening in this moment. So, yeah, I feel like they're still going to have the NFL. I don't think anybody should panic about it. I think it's better that the NFL doesn't have anything going into September. I think it'd just be better off, considering.
It took a global pandemic to do what so many people have been trying to do for a long time, is to kill the preseason in the NFL. Or just shorten it. Just make it 2 games. Well, it looks like it's going to happen this year. Like, this just screams to me like, look, we're going to do this one way, the only way, the right way, and we're not going to mess around with the preseason. Like, that's what it screams to me, which I'm okay with as a fan, as a sports book person. The preseason is nonsense most of the time. So, I mean, I know guys are using it to get ready for the season, and there's still 8 jobs that have to be decided, but they're not going to have the Hall of Fame game. So that leads me to believe they probably won't have the first week or the second week of the preseason as well, which, again, I'm okay with.
I think it's totally fine as far as like, because financially, the preseason will build interest no matter what. But, just for care of like the guys going out there and, it's a lot of guys' jobs on the line too in the preseason. So,
Yeah.
a lot of guys that are trying to make a team, it's kind of built into this. And, for us, like booking's a big deal, and kind of for us, to figure out what we're going to do with the teams going forward. It's a lot going on, but I think it's better off with, everything going on that we don't have. I wish we didn't have any of the preseason, maybe one game, but
Right.
we don't really need it.
Yeah, it would be, again, for booking wise, it would be okay if we didn't have much of the preseason. I know just a couple people that I was going back and forth with. It was, maybe like, oh, no, not the NFL, but like Brady and Tampa, they're not really concerned. They're still working out every day, and, we're still writing tickets on them to win the Super Bowl every day.
Always. Every day, yeah.
Single day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers garner at least one ticket to win the Super Bowl.
What do you have them at right now, 10-1?
We're down to 10-1 because
Of course.
we're in a situation where we're trying almost to not write as much business as we would like, because it has to be carried over to the next thing, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop them. Tampa, 10-1 Super Bowl. There you have it. Let's move on. NBA. The bubble is happening. This is the way the NBA is going to go. The problem with the bubble is that it's in Orlando, Florida, which the cases are spiking every single day. It's just crazy what's going on in Florida. And now they're another state that had mask mandated, I guess. And, there's people that are just like, they don't want to be wearing a mask. I mean, you got to wear pants when you go out in public. You got to wear, clothes most of the time. Just people don't want to put a mask on. That's a whole nother story. We'll get to that. My question to you, Mo, is if you didn't need the money, would you go if you were on an NBA team? Like, you had the option, would you go to the bubble?
I think for a lot of these people, it's depending on my family. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot that goes into something like this. Even as a professional, you want to, make it's a big deal because you're a professional and you want to make it a big deal for going back and playing. And a lot of people are going to talk shit if you don't go back and play. I don't know. I would have to discuss it with a lot of people that are near me if it wasn't for money. Otherwise, if it's something that, I want to do personally as myself, I'd go. For me, I don't have a problem doing anything. I'm willing to risk it. I don't really mind.
Yeah, man, you're 27. You can go, do whatever. You can get sick. They put you in a quarantine for 14 days. You play ping pong. You watch movies.
Is that rule still there? Can they still not play ping pong?
They can't play doubles. They can only play singles. That's it.
It's the top 3 worst rule I've ever heard.
Reynolds, you live in a bubble, essentially. Would you go? Would you go to do this if you didn't need the money?
All right, so we're talking if I was actual player in the NBA, or are we talking about like if I was like a media member to go cover or something?
Well,
if you're playing in the NBA.
That's interesting. Both. I mean, if you were a player. If you're the third guy, on the Warriors or not the Warriors, not the Lakers because they can win it, on the Rockets.
I think I would, just because like I don't really have family or anything like that, so I don't have to make the same considerations that a lot of other people have to make. So for me, it's a little bit easier to risk the health effects.
Right.
Well, it's tougher if we're not talking about money. Like if it was about money, we're all going for the most part, I would think.
Of course.
That's probably accurate, yeah.
Right, but I mean, generally, like I would have to at least think about it, or at least talk to some people. Like, is it smart? And then for me, like I wouldn't care about it. I'd probably still go anyway. I would just end up going.
You got to know what you're going like too. I mean, because if you go and you make a run, you're there 3 months in that, bubble, whatever, minimum. And that shit gets old. I mean, you go on vacation with your family for a week, and by the end of the week, you got to get somewhere else. You're going to go live in the bubble in that environment. I don't know. It's just going to be different. Everything's different. I think I would go too because I love to play. And if I had a legitimate shot at winning a championship and this is the way we were going to do it, I'd go. Would I be a little bit nervous? Maybe. I mean,
serious question. Would you value the championship that you win? Because I know like guys back in like 99 when Duncan won his first title, right? They were like, it's got an asterisk next to it. Does this carry the same weight as winning a championship in a normal 82-game season? Like obviously not from the game's perspective, but if you're
I was gonna say in 10 years when people are making fun of you of winning the championship in the bubble year, I mean, I wouldn't know how I would feel about that really, but at that point it wouldn't even matter. But people are they're gonna shit on you anyway if you win a championship this year, no matter what. Especially if it's like LeBron or someone, they'll crush him.
Right. It's going to have an asterisk, yes, and it's as time goes on, it won't mean as much. But yes, right away, it's going to be like, oh, well, they won in that shortened season when they all had to go to Orlando and play, So, but you win a championship, you win a championship. Nobody can take that shit away from you, once it's done. So, I think yes, it would have a little less value this year, maybe next year, but that'll go away quick and. You can always show them the ring.
That's it.
There it is. Right.
How long before you end up pawning it? Like, years down the line. You gotta
That's when the world starts ending.
You
don't need the ring anymore.
Speaking of, I don't know. Hub cities and bubbles and winning rings, the NHL still hasn't named the hub cities.
I thought Vegas was already named one. Is that right?
No, not officially. They haven't named anything. They keep eliminating cities. There's 5 cities left.
Who got taken off the list this week? Because it was 6.
Vancouver, I think, got eliminated.
It was 6, and Vancouver got eliminated. So right now, the 3 U.S. cities are Vegas, Chicago, L.A., and then Toronto and Edmonton in Canada. Now, our friends up north who listen to the show religiously, we got people from in Toronto and surrounding areas there, and all the way out to Edmonton, Calgary. We thank you guys for listening to the show. They're doing a lot better with this COVID-19 and everything else than the U.S. Is it possible? I'll just ask you, Mo, if you were betting, what 2 cities would you bet on of the 5? Vegas, Chicago, L.A., Toronto, Edmonton. Who gets it?
Oh, man. I'd say Vegas and Edmonton would be 2 of the better cities to bet on.
Okay.
Personally, I guess Toronto is obviously a big city in itself, but I don't know. I mean, as far as from a fan standpoint, I think Edmonton's pretty big. I think they got one of the smaller stadiums. Is that right? Or arenas? Is that right?
No, their arena's pretty good.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's simple.
Yeah,
but, yeah, I mean, if I had to pick 2, it'd probably be those 2, if anything.
Reynolds, you care to weigh in on this?
I think I was thinking about Winnipeg.
So the question is, which 2 cities would I bet on, right?
Yeah.
To me, the money's always been on Vegas. I just
Okay.
think it's just too natural of the setup of being able to house and being able to store everybody, for lack of a better term.
Right.
Started thinking earlier today, just for no reason. I was like, LA could kind of screw us on that. But also, they're having I know Clark County's having the spikes with COVID as well, but I know California's getting real bad. So that actually might work in Vegas's favor as well. Edmonton, as opposed to Toronto, I think you got to go Edmonton because Toronto, with its close proximity to New York, how badly that thing has been handled over there, right? Edmonton's a little bit more of like a rural area. I think it might be easier to contain that way. So I would say Vegas and Edmonton for those reasons.
I will go geographic-wise. I think they're going to pick Toronto to be the eastern somewhat hub. And they're going to pick either Vegas or Edmonton to be the west hub. I just think that, like you just said, Reynolds, Vegas is a good fit as far as, getting people around and having 12 teams or 10 teams, whatever it is, stay close to the rink, get access to practice rinks. All that stuff is right here. So I don't know. We'll see. Watch them name Chicago and LA, and we're just fucking dead wrong on all of it. That's probably what will happen, because I know Chicago's coming out of it. Like they're going to phase 4. They're opening everything up, casinos, all this stuff. And, they're talking about in a couple weeks or in a month, they're going to have fans at Wrigley in a limited capacity. So I don't know. Maybe Chicago's is there. We'll see. I just thought it was something fun to talk about, because we can't talk about the games because there are no games. So if anybody cares to weigh in, at GT Cash Consider, fire out your guesses before they actually name them. We should have had a contest, actually.
Don't worry about the contest, Dave. Like, we do that with
guesses. Yeah. I was just trying to do something for the summer. See if we can get somebody to actually tweet at us. Speaking of tweets, Mo, who are the 4 guys that you posted on there?
Oh my God. I didn't know if this was going to come up in this podcast or not, but it was something that me and Matt Metcalf were going over. And we were just saying, like, we were listening to music earlier in the risk room, and we were saying, like, does anybody know, like, would anybody know anyone from the group 112 if they've seen them? So we were going through images online, and we seen that one, and I said, look, there's just nobody in the world that's going to know who this is, unless they legitimately know. It was like an older picture of him, so it was something that was funny. So I had to throw it on there. It was something that we were going to laugh about.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we were going to make it my screensaver, as a joke at work. But the fact that it's still on there right now and we didn't delete it only makes it's only right. It was too funny at the time. It was incredible.
I like someone put 82 plus 28, and you said the digits were right.
Right. So, yeah. As soon as it was a good buddy of mine, my homie Bear. Yeah. And I seen it. I already knew what it added up to. I was just thinking of the joke to come back at with him. So it all worked out.
You didn't have to use a calculator to figure that out, right?
No, I already knew. As soon as there was numbers involved, I knew, yeah. My math is terrible. Yeah, I had that figured out.
How many 112 can you name? Was it Peaches and Cream? Is that the only?
Peaches and Cream, exactly. Yeah. That's right. But if you've seen this picture, man, like, I think one of the cats looked like Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix. Like, the whole thing was crazy, man. I was like, no one knows these people. No one knows them. That's wild, man.
Here, Kendall's wants to say a quick hi. Say hi.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Kendall,
special guest?
Yeah. What's up? See, this is the podcast. All right. See you. Thanks.
I need the portable.
It's over there. Isn't it? Yeah, it is.
It's right there.
Thank you.
That's a parenting break.
That was a Chris Paul move.
Yeah.
Steph Curry move.
See you. Sorry, guys. Soccer. Mo, I still fucking hate soccer. I mean, it's just it's fucking torture.
We've been betting it. I've bet into some Portugal stuff. I've bet into some Denmark stuff. We're booking it hard, man.
You're booking all those leagues at Circa?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're locked in now. We're locked in. The EPL's back. Serie A's back. I mean, it's getting real. I think soccer is coming up on the new NFL. I know I said golf's the new NFL.
Whoa.
I'm saying. Liverpool just won the championship in the EPL.
Yes, I heard.
So, obviously they were going to win anyway, but Man City really didn't care about what was happening. I think those god-awful jerseys they were wearing today.
Who gives a shit? I mean, really. Yeah.
Every week now to claim something's the new NFL. I want this to be a running bit.
The soccer's right in there. I'll let you know what happens next week. But soccer's closing in. I feel
soccer is the new NFL during the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, soccer's busy as hell, right?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, we're getting new players every other time I'm looking at the ticker. It's pretty insane. I mean, I like reading about it. I feel like I'm going to just keep doing this no matter what's on from here on out.
Oh.
I'm going to start studying the smaller leagues like I do the group of 5 teams in college football. I think that's the way I got to do it.
There you go. That will be a
when I
nice
give you like the Denmark play,
Oh,
and that shit blows up in our face, then I'll figure out why that happened.
okay.
Yeah,
There
not
you
just
go.
I chase
Start
Steve.
coming up with that shit. That will
Yeah, of course.
we'll really we'll do a segment every week. You know,
Of course.
soccer plays. Perfect.
Called something rotten in Denmark.
As soon as we start getting on a roll with the Turkey Super League, then I know we'll be on for sure.
The Superliga. Well, here's something for you, Superliga. Major League Baseball agreed after we've been bashing them for weeks. They didn't really agree. They just settled.
Yeah, settled. Yeah, good word. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really did anything.
Nobody budged. Yeah.
Yeah, and they came up with 60 games. We're going to play 60 games. So it's a sprint. It's not the marathon that it usually is. And we still don't know exactly how it's going to go as far as traveling and people getting sick and all this other stuff. Let's just hope that we get 60 games in and they get there. But a couple of places put out season wins. 60 games. And I saw the high was like the Dodgers at 37.
Yeah.
The low was the Orioles at 20. 20 and 40 is their predicted number.
Seems
I don't
high.
know. I looked over the list. Did anything jump out to you as far as a major league? Nobody knows shit. Let's get that right out right away. We don't know. They got to get to spring training and not get sick. They got to get to the regular season and started and not get sick and this. But did anything jump out to you as far as numbers and go, wow, I got to play this?
I don't think there was anything in particular. Our boy Rex Byers at Caesars hooked us up.
Yeah.
He put that up. He put that out on Twitter, man. So I was happy to see that.
Yes.
And I know he's probably been big into that like weeks before this thing was even announced.
Yeah.
It was just fun to see the Yankees and Dodgers at the top. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about the White Sox. I think they're at from what I've seen, 31 and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing of me. Like I have, my baseball, I don't cap it at all ever. It's just some stuff I've seen. 31 and a half seems pretty high for a team like that. But I heard that, they should be a little bit better this year. So, I mean, I guess that should be something to kind of grip on. But once again, I have no idea what's happening. I just want to see the Astros play so I can see what happens with that team. I haven't forgot anything.
I don't think many people have. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are excited to root against them. The interesting thing about the baseball schedule is going to be you play your own division 40 times, and you play the other league opposite same geographical division. So NL Central plays the AL Central 20 games. So, like, team in the NL Central, like the Cardinals or the Cubs or the Brewers, they get the Reds. The Reds are hot. I mean, the people are going to play the Reds. Are playing them already to win the pennant, win the World Series, and over their number. They get to play the really shitty teams like the Royals and the Tigers. So the teams that have to play in the East, you get to play the Orioles, yes, but you also have to play the Nationals, the Phillies, and the Braves.
What do you think's better right now out of the Royals and the Tigers? This is a personal question.
Tigers. You?
You think the Tigers are better than the Royals?
Yeah.
Hesitate, by the way. Like that was like instantaneous, like a Rorschach test. It just came out.
No, this is something that we were arguing about at work. Like I guess we were all in favor with the Royals for the most part, but some people are in favor of the Tigers. I don't know. It was weird. This is a weird conversation that someone would have at this point.
It's sick. Well, it's just sick conversation. It's
no, everyone's just everyone's just out of their mind.
I would say Tigers only because I think they have a better lineup, and that's disgusting to even say right now.
It's been said. You already said it's done.
It's so long since I even looked at it or cared, and I'd have to maybe go back and confirm. But yes, Tigers. I talk about all things Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 25 for the season win total. You can bet that over. Their pitching's going to be enough. They're going to be right around 500. So over 25, lock it in. You can take out one.
If Allen was here, he'd be ripping you.
He rips me anyway, so who gives a shit?
That's right. Yeah.
Mariners
Kind of ripped me. Yeah,
under.
tore me up right there. Jesus.
You can bet the Mariners under. That can be Allen's play. I mean, because he bets them over. He likes the Mariners, and their total is 24. 24
A lot. It's too much.
under. They're in a tough division. They got to play the Astros, the A's, and the Angels. It's not good. Then they got to play. The NL West is. It's not good for the Mariners. Their pitching is going to really be bad. My question, do we get through the whole baseball season? Do they get all 60 games? Someone asked me this today. What if the shit, continues to blow up? Team gets 12 guys on the roster get sick, whatever. Would baseball ever shut it down if they start, do you think?
I mean, it's such an insane question considering that could be a possibility, number one. Like that you could shut the whole league down.
Yeah.
Even though we've already seen it. I mean, I'm just saying on the rebuild back up. But, I mean, yeah, you never really know. I mean, how bad could it get? How bad could it get in one state? Not just with the players in itself or, any, possible people that could be there, later in the next couple months. But, yeah, most definitely. I feel like if they already shut it down once at the top of its, especially the NBA being first, then they could definitely shut it down later in the season if they had to,
Right.
And it's just the safety. It's the safety of like the human beings, not the players, but like just people that are involved.
Right.
It's not that much to really think about.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't happen. I think if they get started, they're going to do everything in their power. They got these long taxi squads. They got like a AAA bubble set up in Nashville. They got 50 guys. They're going to play 25 and 25. They're going to play and stay loose. So if somebody gets sick, they can get called up right away, put on a roster. So they're taking all kind of necessary steps to make sure once the train gets rolling, we're on the tracks and we're getting to the end because the owners need the postseason money. I mean, let's keep that real. They
had to settle at this point. I mean, they definitely want to play. I was happy that the golfers today, there was like 5 golfers that had to sit out.
Yeah.
And they kept the travelers going, which I thought was good. I thought it would kind of be upsetting that they would shut down the whole tournament. So I guess looking forward, that might be something that a lot of the other professional sports could look into if they could just quarantine those guys.
Yep. And
just throw some other guys in there. Which I guess it should be fine.
Have you ever seen the baseball extra inning proposal in use in person? This is the way softball has done their tiebreakers for years, and I learned this coaching. You start the extra inning with a runner at second base and nobody out. It's called the international tiebreaker in fast pitch softball. It's fantastic. There's a lot of people that are upset, traditionalists. Nobody likes to change anything in baseball. AB talks about it all the time about how leagues don't want to make changes. This is going to be great. People are going to love this. I'm telling you, it puts immediate pressure on the defense. You start with a runner at second base and nobody out. You make the choice to sacrifice Bunham to third and maybe get a fly ball to knock him in and score. Or if you have a hitter up that can go the other way, move the runner, whatever. There's all kind of strategy involved, but immediately puts pressure on the defense. I love it. Do you have any opinion on it before you've seen it, or have you seen it at all?
I feel like we've already talked about this in an earlier podcast of ours about the rule being put up.
Okay.
About having a guy on second. I feel like we have. Could be a Mandela effect. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, Mandela.
But no, yeah. I mean, anything to speed up the game.
Podcast, bro, that you must have talked about it with them.
We're gonna get involved with that soon. But anything to speed up the game is fine if it goes into extra innings. I mean, obviously people are mad that the game takes too long or whatever they say. But yeah, I mean, why not? It's fun. It's new. I can't imagine it being much of an issue. There's more strategy into it. In-game's going to be involved with it too for what we're doing.
Fantastic.
So, people are going to have a good time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I think it's actually a better idea. I'd like that.
Dave, because you're super big on this, right? Like you were just saying, like, this is fantastic. This is great. Do you think this is something that'll catch on and that they'll actually use going forward?
Yes. I think it's going to be positive because nobody wants to see a 17-inning game. The players don't want to play it. The fans don't want to see it when they're there. TV doesn't want to see it. It's just too long. It brings out bullpens. It sets teams back for a week. The game will be decided. It may go 1 or 2 innings, likely, and someone will probably score. So I think it'll be something. It'll be like the shootout to decide hockey games in the regular season. Everybody for years, hockey ended in a tie, and then they said, you know what, we're gonna do shootouts, and all the hockey purists were like, how can you decide a fucking hockey game on a shootout? Now, when the game goes to overtime and it's still tied and it goes to shootout, the entire arena stands up, and it's electric for the shootout. It's not always the best, fairest way because some guys are just better. But this at least is playing the game and deciding it in a short way. I really think it'll stick.
I mean, not what we're talking about, but in hockey it works because they give them half a point for the tie as well, right?
Yeah.
So it all works out. It's exciting, and the team that tie, like they both get a half a point. It all makes sense, really.
I think it'll be one of the things that will stick, like the universal DH. That's probably going to stick. We probably won't ever see pitchers bat again. This is probably going to stick now. National League's done with pitchers hitting. I wouldn't be surprised to see that stick. You know, more offense is better anyway.
I like seeing pitchers hitting. It's like rough on you if you're betting. Like the guy in the 9 hole is going to fucking destroy you. So, whatever that may be,
It's going to change some things, but yeah, I do. I think that's one thing that's going to stick. Speaking of sticking, all right, you talk about golf and being the golf betting is still the NFL.
Oh, man, always.
Right now. Today, a guy named Mackenzie Hughes
classic.
shot 60 at the Travelers.
It's 10 under, I think, yeah.
Yeah, 10 under. Missed a putt for 59. He shot 60. He's a Canadian guy, going back to our friends in Canada.
Nope.
He's a Kent State grad, Mo.
Don't like that.
Yeah. He's 20. He was 200 to 1, as high as 300 to 1 in places.
I think we had him at 450 to 1 at your hat. At Dave's hat.
He's 20 to 1 adjusted price. Is he going to win this tournament? He's got a 3-stroke lead on Rory McIlroy, 4 strokes on Phil. The next closest guy is -7. He's -10 after the first day. Would you bet him at 20 to 1 to win the tournament?
There's no goddamn way in the world I'd bet this guy. I think I've probably seen his name maybe twice or 3 times in my life. Maybe. Just like not even as an avid golfer, but, being at, what we do personally. But, yeah, there's no way. I would once he makes the cut somehow, we need to come back and talk about where he finishes. I think that should be the first thing we talk about.
For Christ's sake, he could shoot 75 tomorrow. He's making the cut.
Right, fair, right. I just want to see where he finishes on Sunday when he gets there. That's really what I'm, basing my deal on. I'm still waiting on Tony Finau.
Would you bet him to finish in the top 10 right now?
Oh man, what a question. I'd have to see the price. I don't know what price maybe 20 to 1 where that should be the price I'd have to pay to see him finish in the top 10.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
How about that? There's no way he stays up there. No way. Can't be. It's the best golf of his life. I can't imagine him playing that for 3 more days. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he could shoot, 67, the next 3 days. He doesn't have to shoot 60. He could shoot 67, 68, 67.
Be right in the mix.
He'll finish 18 under.
To Mo's point, though, the guy shoots the round of his life, and he's only, up 3 strokes?
Scary. He ain't going to win.
Phil Mickelson's involved. I think he's 6 under.
There's no way he's going to win. I think the winning score is going to be 18 or 19 under, which, is legitimate. I mean, he could shoot that by, again, shooting 67 the rest of the way, 68. But I'm with you, Mo. I wouldn't bet him. I just, we got a lot of golf guys, and everybody's betting golf.
Yeah, everybody's a golf. Yeah, they're an aficionado. Every single person we know is a golf aficionado from here on out.
Man. And they're not afraid to tell you. I mean, everybody's betting and everybody's got an opinion. I've heard greens and regulation, all these things, these metrics that people are measuring are now talked about all over the place. And A guy named Mackenzie Hughes goes out and shoots 60 and fucks up everybody's like leader after the first round, score, whatever. So now it's scramble back and come back for the weekend. Mackenzie Hughes makes the cut, yes. Does he win the tournament? No. I think we're in agreement there.
Right.
Rory shot 7 under today. He looks like he's going to win it. And DeChambeau, who everybody loves, he looks like an offensive lineman. He swings out of his shoes every damn swing, hits the
All
ball.
bombs. Yeah,
200
that's all
yards.
it.
You got anybody you like? You know, anybody listens to this on the weekend, they can catch it on Sunday and say, yeah.
I'm still waiting on Tony Finau to like discover that Sundays you could play well, you know, if you wanted to. I talked to Jeff Davis a couple days ago. He said he's the best, worst golfer of all time in the history of the game. So, you know, I've only been watching it so long to consider something like that. But, so, you know, people were kind of suckering me in as Sung J M.
Oh,
I guess, you know, he's
another
been
sharp
pretty
play.
solid.
Yep.
But DeChambeau was like anyone that I know or I've seen bet on the ticker, man. Like he was a big, like, people were getting down on DeChambeau like he already won the tournament.
Absolutely. It's fun to say his name. It's fun to watch him play, and he's been closer every week.
Yeah.
I mean, by far he was the top. I think the top or second choice at our place. Number of
Which
tickets.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Koepka was a big deal before, you know, he ended up, you know, being quarantined. Yeah.
Well, like you said, the PGA handled it great. I mean, there were, you know, caddies tested positive, a golfer tested positive. You guys are out. You know, the guys that their caddies tested positive, they just made the choice like, all right, you know what? I don't need to play. I'll go home. I'm good. Graham McDowell, his caddy tested positive. He got a car and drove from Hartford down to Florida because he didn't want to get on a plane because even though he tested negative, he thought I shouldn't get on a plane. So he just rented a car and drove down to Florida. Guys are taking it serious, and it was good to see. They have to change some of their protocols. I guess they were concerned that guys went to their own gyms. They're going to provide, you know, the PGA Tour provides a gym and things like that. So I don't know.
I didn't even know Koepka's brother was involved. I knew he had a brother that played, which I don't care about him at all, like not even close. But I didn't know he was involved in this tournament.
He qualified for the thing. He's not on the tour. He actually went through the gauntlet, qualified, and then said, you know what? Caddy's got it. I'm not playing. And
it sucks.
And gave it up. It's a very hard thing to believe or to do after you have to get through what he had to shoot to get in the tournament. So I respect these guys that, you know, this is the way the leagues, like you said, have to do it going forward.
Yeah.
Let's hope everybody's watching. Let's hope everybody's listening, and you know, they can do it. Last thing I wanted to mention was the UFC continue to just do their thing at the Apex here in Vegas. They're putting out cards. We're taking bets on it. Again, and Reynolds can speak, you know, has spoken to this point. It's a lot of fights, and it's a lot of trash fights. Like, they're just got to keep putting out stuff, get on the card. It's maybe not the most compelling. It's not the most deep cards. But, I mean, I can tell you this, Mo. Saturdays are the most normal day of the week as far as betting goes. Maybe not in your place because you got all these soccer players. But we're taking a lot of bets on the UFC. A lot of just quantity-wise and some decent limit wagers. But it's the most normal day in the book. Is it not Saturday?
Yeah, no, I think it was weird. I think we were talking about it being kind of a lower handle deal for us on Saturday, which we cleaned up. I mean, it was we still, you know, got played quite a bit. Just, you know, a couple players weren't playing with us. Maybe it was just a card, you know. We were saying it was a Chasers holiday or something like that, which was a joke.
Some dogs won on Saturday. You know, some dogs actually won their fights, which we need a dog almost in every fight we book. Like, there's no one there. We don't have anybody really taking much of the other side anymore. And lines are moving. They're flying, like you say. They're they're $2.80, then they're $3, then they're $3.20, and you got to go to $3.40 to get somebody to bet the other side. Like there's no one looking to take the dog. And Reynolds, did you watch the fights last week?
No, it was trash. But I did catch a little bit of the main event, and Blades did his thing of just take down, repeat, 25 minutes like he said he was going to do, and like pretty much everybody knew he was going to do, which is why he was like a $4 favorite.
Right. Did you see that guy in the corner?
Oh, Quarantino? No, I'm sorry. That's the guy who got tested positive. Max, I don't know.
Roscoff?
Yeah.
Did you see the footage?
Yeah.
What did you think? For the listeners that don't know, it looked like, he said call it 9 times in between the rounds.
He was adamant.
He was gone. He was gone.
I've never seen that before.
And, with no one in the stands, no one in the arena, you can hear everything. And they had them, the mic on. He said call it. The trainer was trying to push him. Was it uncomfortable for you, or is it something you've seen before? What did you think about that whole thing?
Well, I've never seen a guy actually call it like that before, where he's saying like no, and then his corner actually tries to push him through it, and then he's still saying absolutely no. I don't have a problem with what Robert Drysdale did, the coach in question here, because at the very end of that, and everybody glossed over this, is at the very end of that when the referee actually came over, he did say call it. So he gave that guy every opportunity to stay in. He wanted out, and at the very last minute, Drysdale was like, you know what? No, that we have to call it. Now he was kind of getting his hand forced because the guy wasn't getting off the stool, but I don't have an issue with him trying to motivate his fighter, because that's what his job as the coach is supposed to do.
Right.
You're not used to seeing this from a fighter to absolutely say, no, I don't want to be here anymore. And it's a smart move for the health, for his long-term health, but we're just not trained to see this. So I think people, and especially because we've seen some bad cornering in recent months. Yeah. I think people made a bigger deal of it than it really should have been.
I think, and also because it's the only game in town right now, there's such a spotlight on the UFC. In Saturdays, they own it. The betting public, it's on, it's live, and it was replayed a lot. I'm with you though, 100%. I thought the guy did the right thing by saying to the ref, he's not going. But him pushing him is what he's supposed to do. And I think that kid Max was his 5th fight or 6th fight or something.
Yeah, he was 5-0 coming in, and actually, quick backstories. I was in an IKEA, like a year earlier, just by chance, and I ran into his coach.
Oh.
And this guy was telling me, like, because nobody had heard of this guy before. He was just, on the regional scene.
Wait, how did you know he was the coach?
Because I knew him personally. Like,
okay.
We were just talking and just, BSing around, and then he had mentioned like, hey, keep an eye on this kid, he's going to be good. So when I saw the name, I was like, oh, okay. And then it was a short notice fight. It's the calendar makes the fights for the UFC. They're just throwing at people like, hey, we want you to take this. So I don't think we saw the best of what he could possibly be, but also at the same time I understand why, especially short notice, and you're getting wrecked, because I think it was a 10-8 round in that second round, to make the call to say, hey, I'm out. Like, I know personally for me, I wouldn't be able to do that, but it's actually a good sign that fighters are being able to take that and not have that, I don't know, machismo, that macho-ness, you know what I mean? To sit back and like, oh, no, never quitting. It's, a sign that you're a coward. That's not necessarily true.
If you quit, you die.
The UFC does a tremendous job with it as far as, it's okay. Guys tap out. I mean, it's a respect thing. I think the refs do a really good job of making sure guys don't get, excessively beat up. They jump in. I don't know.
There's some awful refs out there, man.
Yeah, that wasn't the case when that chick that fought Amanda Nunes. That shit should have been over like 2/3 of the way through the fight. I mean, I don't know what was going on.
The Nunes fight.
Yeah, Felicia when she fought Felicia Spencer like a month.
Yeah, like that. I mean, I thought in the third round the corner should have said, "Look, hey, like I like what you're doing, but we got to go home.
Right.
Tell them to go. We got to go home. We got to get out of here. We got to do something else.
We ain't gonna go home, but we gotta get the
We
hell
gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah, fast. Yeah, with the quickness. Let's leave."
You can see it happening, I guess. I just know I've seen years and years of boxing, and guys have taken beatings. It just seems like the UFC does a little bit better job, but you know, Reynolds would know better than me. I'm just telling you from the stuff that I've seen. All right. Well, before we get out of here, real quick, Mo, do you have to wear a mask to work every day?
Yeah, when we just on the floor, not in the risk room itself.
Okay.
Optional, really.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously anyone that's working in the environment is wearing the mask. But we definitely have to have it on the floor for sure.
So when you go in, if you go in through the casino and everything, you got to have the mask on.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Which I have no issue with it at this point. I'm okay with it. Somewhat. I don't know. I don't want to wear it into a restaurant or anything. The casino's fine.
Right.
We should have been doing this years ago, actually.
Before COVID was a thing.
Yeah, but I don't even care about COVID. I'm like, this seems more like legit. I feel like this is real.
I remember when I started at the Nugget in 2005.
05.
Low ceiling, tight ass sports book. There was a guy that sat in the second row every day with a mask. And we used to be like, what the fuck is he wearing a mask for? The guy was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, it was stupid ahead of his time.
He was
Years.
He used to wear the mask. He used to say it was for the smoke because the smoke was oppressive. And, you know, he bet horses and he was a curmudgeon and, you know, but he wore that fucking mask every day.
No one said anything to the guy. Like I thought that was part of the issue with the masks originally was that they were saying like, you know, I don't know, security thing or whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's changing every day. It's really, it's something now that has to be done. And
I was asking about that situation with you back in the day.
Oh,
I'm assuming he would just throw it on in the sports book. Like he would walk in with the mask. Yeah.
I never saw him outside the sports book.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had it on, but he was always there the days when he was there. The days I worked, he had this mask on, and it was just.
It was probably the same mask for years. He may have needed to change that. Get that mask changed.
He probably didn't change the filter very often, but he wore that mask. Anyhow, it's just another one of those things. I was going to have a mask on right when we started the show just to, you know, keep with the theme of it, but it's somewhere and I don't know where it's at. That's part of the fucking problem for me. I'll get out of the car and go somewhere and leave it in the fucking car and have to come back and get it. And now, you know, you see no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service signs.
Yeah, arrested.
Yeah, shit. I mean, in some places they're going to start charging you if you're not, if you're not wearing a mask.
We were talking about, like you can't put your mask in your pocket. Like, you know, like you got a bunch of like dirty money and change or whatever, your keys.
Yeah.
Just throwing it over your face. I mean, this is a new world we live in. You gotta have a fanny pack for all the masks that you have.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that's real, man. That's a real thing.
Carry the mask. Oh, my God.
No, that's real. I can't keep it around my ear. I see people having them on their ear. I'm like, I don't really fuck with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's where I keep mine a lot of times. I keep it right on the ear when I got it.
Yeah, right here on the bam.
Yeah, left side. Strong.
Oh,
all right.
Does hanging on the right side mean something, Dave?
No, I don't know. It's I
think it's like
use it on the
gang thing. Gang orientation. It's a gang
It probably does, Reynolds. Now that you said that, there's probably something to wearing the mask on the right versus the left. Or there will be next week. Who the fuck knows?
Some weird gang sign that you were talking
No,
about.
it's a gang sign. Yeah. No, it is.
Maybe, yeah. It's over here. On the way out, anything, Reynolds? You want to say to anybody?
No, I don't want to say anything to anybody else.
No one really asked him that, so it was just great to hear him say nothing.
Just making sure. I figured that was the case. Mo, fresh haircut, looking good. You little coffee, but what do you got on the way out?
Man, I'm not. I need to say it before you say it, but everybody be safe. You better not say that now. I'm gonna say it for you. And that should be it. That's what I'm saying. Everybody be safe.
And
And bet soccer.
Watching us on YouTube, I'm giving the safe sign. It's the safe sign. Jake Taylor just bunted, and Willie Mays Hayes made it home, and they gave him the quick safe sign 2 times. Yeah, that's it. I mean, just keep doing what we're doing, and goddamn, it's June 25th. It's been 110 every goddamn day. It's hot. When you're outside and you're wearing that mask, it's hard to fucking breathe.
Can't breathe.
Can't live. Has talked about in the past with the glasses, it's fogging up. You got to wear the fucking mask. I mean, the shit ain't going nowhere. So we're gonna have it for a little while. Let's hope we have sports because, man, we just got to have something to see and watch it. Give us the hope of coming out of all this. But that's going to do it for the show. He's Reynolds. I am Reynolds 2305.
Numbers.
This is Motoy Pearson at He Steaks. Our guys who aren't with us tonight, but always with us on the show, at Percent Berg, Alan Berg.
AB.
At Gaming Today News, Howard Barish.
HB.
And the show at GT Cash Consider. Mine is Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig. Thank you all for listening to the show. Leave us a review. Give us a rating. One of the above. Anything. Please, somebody send me another DM if you want to talk about or you want us to address on the show. Much appreciated. See you guys next week. We are out.